Hare Krishna, welcome to Ved Sarthi. Today we are going to learn Bhagavad Gita chapter 1 verse 24. We are currently understanding the verses under the theme Krishna as Bhaktavatsal. In the last video, we completed the verses from 21 to 23. Now we are learning verse number 24. Bhagavad Gita 1.24. Sanjay Vacha एवमुक्तो ऋषिकेशो गुडाकेशेन भारत सेनयोरुभयोर्मध्ये स्थापयित्वा रथोत्तमम्. Sanjay Vacha, Sanjay said, Evam, thus, Uktaha, addressed, Rishikeshaha, Lord Krishna, Gudakeshena, by Arjuna, Bharat, O descendant of Bharat, Senayoho, of the armies, Ubhayoho, both, Madhye, in the midst, Sthapayitva, placing, Rath Uttamam, the finest chariot. Sanjay said, O descendant of Bharat, having thus been addressed by Arjuna, Lord Krishna drew up the fine chariot in the midst of the armies of both parties. Now let us try to understand these verses from Dua perspective, discover, understand and apply. So first discovery here is that Arjuna is being referred to as Gudakesh. Understanding? Gudaka means sleep. Sleep also means ignorance. And Gudaka plus Ish means Lord. So Gudaka plus Ish would mean Lord of sleep. That means one who has conquered sleep or one who has conquered ignorance. Now Arjuna is referred to as Gudakesh because he had conquered both sleep and ignorance. And how he could do so? Because of his constant absorption in remembrance of the beauty and qualities of his close friend Krishna. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, Krishna is governed by his devotees' love. Arjuna has already controlled Krishna, who controls Maya or sleep. So basically the controller of Maya or sleep is Krishna. Now Arjuna has already controlled Krishna. So it is no wonder that Arjuna had conquered sleep. How a devotee is able to conquer ignorance? That is because the devotee of Krishna can never forget Krishna even for a moment. And actually, in the purport, Prabhupada ji has given the definition of samadhi as the state of thinking of Krishna constantly. So this state is actually being Krishna conscious or being in samadhi. Either in waking or in sleep, a devotee of the Lord can never be free from thinking of Krishna's name, form, qualities and pastimes. So Arjuna, in all states, at every moment, he was never forgetful of Krishna. Even during sleep, he used to remember Krishna, and that is why he was not affected by ignorance, by sleep. That is why Arjuna is being referred as Gudakesha. We have given a couple of references. First reference is from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Krishna Surya Sam, Maya hai andhakar. Jahan Krishna taha nahi Maya adhikar. Wherever there is Krishna, there is no jurisdiction of darkness or Maya. Second verse, this is from Bhagavad Gita chapter 7 verse number 14. Devi yasha gunmai mam maya durateya mama eva ye prapadyante maya metam tarantite. So the meaning of this verse is that we can become immediately out of the scope of Maya if we remain surrendered to Krishna always. Then Maya will not touch us. Just like, when we remain in sunshine, there is no question of darkness, there is no question of night. All right. So application, by thinking of Krishna constantly, we can conquer both sleep and ignorance. Now there are other meanings of Gudakesh given by Vaishnavacharya. So another meaning here. So this meaning of Gudakesh is given by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. So Guda refers to molasses made from sugarcane juice. And Krishna is sweetness personified. And Krishna relishes his sweet exchanges with Arjuna. So Arjuna is referred to as Gudakesh. Another definition, Guda means molasses. Now Akesh. Akesh can be understood as A refers to Vishnu, Ka refers to Brahma, and Ish refers to Shiva. So Gudakesh means Arjuna who gives Vishnu, Brahma and Shiva the experience of sweetness of Lord's affection, just as sugar or Buddha gives experience of sweetness. When we complete this dua analysis, we'll share one story where Lord Vishnu actually experienced this sweetness through the relationship of Arjuna and Krishna. So Gudakesh refers to he who, by bringing Krishna under his control, gave Vishnu, Brahma and Shiva the opportunity to experience Krishna's sweetness. Where the Supreme Lord, the crown jewel, source of all avatars, being controlled by Prem, followed the orders of his servant Arjuna. How could Vishnu, Brahma and Shiva, his mere expansions as Gun avatars? So Vishnu ji, Brahma ji and Shiv ji, they are Gun avatars of Lord Krishna. So how can these Gun avatars show off any of their powers? Instead, they felt they had reached the pinnacle of perfection by manifesting affectionate feelings for the Lord themselves. And these feelings in them is inspired by Arjuna. Okay, so one verse excerpt that we are sharing here, this is from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 89, verse number 58, where Lord Mahavishnu said, Dvijat maja me yuvayor ditrik shuna. So Lord Mahavishnu said, I brought the Brahman son here because I wanted to see the two of you. That is Krishna and Arjuna. So story, as I said, we'll be sharing after we complete the dua analysis. Next discovery from this verse, that Krishna is referred to as Rishikesh. Rishikesh means the master of senses. As Rishikesh, or the director of senses and mind of every living entity, Krishna could understand Arjuna's purpose in placing the chariot in the midst of the armies. We have presented here as it is what Srila Prabhupada had taught in his lecture on this specific verse. So here, Prabhupada ji has quoted one verse from Bhagavad Gita. The verse number is 42 and chapter is 3. Indriyani parani ahur indriyebhyah param manaha manasastu para buddhir yo buddhehe paratastu saha. The translation of this verse is that the working senses are superior to dull matter. Mind is higher than the senses. Intelligence is still higher than the mind. And soul is even higher than the intelligence. So here Prabhupada ji is explaining this verse that first of all, when we see a person, we see the senses. But we cannot see the director of the senses. The director of the senses in an individual is the mind. And the director of the mind is intelligence. The owner of the intelligence is the soul. So this is the understanding. So that means as soon as we say intelligence, we say whose intelligence? Where from that intelligence is coming? The intelligence belongs to the soul. Now, what is the source of the soul's intelligence? The source of the soul's intelligence is Super Soul, Paramatma, Rishikesh. The intelligence comes from the Paramatma. Just like, a child has got intelligence, but the intelligence of the child is guided by the parent's intelligence. Where parent says, my dear son, do like this. And he does it. Similarly, we have got this mind, we have got the intelligence, but it is being guided by the super intelligent Krishna. Therefore, Krishna is being referred to as Rishikesh here. Okay? So application, we have to reach to that platform where we can talk with Rishikesh. That is spiritual platform. And that is possible through devotional service. The more we become purified, we can talk with Rishikesh, who is within ourselves, and we can get guidance from him. You can refer to the video related to the verse number 15 in the same playlist, in the playlist of these series of videos on chapter 1. You can refer to the video related to verse number 15. There also we have explained the meaning of Rishikesh in detail. That how, Rishikesh, the Lord of the senses, guides us. And Lord Krishna guides us in proportional to our surrender unto him. All those details, we have elaborated in that specific video. And we'll share that link in the description also. You can just go through. Now, next discovery. In the previous verse, Arjun requested Krishna to take the chariot in between the armies. Now, having thus been addressed by Arjun, Lord Krishna drew up the fine chariot in the midst of the armies of the both parties. Now, here, the chariot is being referred to as Rath Uttamam, the finest chariot. So, this is one of the indicators of victory, and we have covered the significance of this word, Rath Uttamam, in verse number 1.14. You can refer to the video related to verse number 1.14 to know more details on this. Okay. So meanwhile, we are presenting the understanding of this first discovery here that is being mentioned in the table, that having been addressed by Arjun, Lord Krishna drew up the fine chariot in the midst of the armies of both parties. Now understanding is that Krishna, who is the supreme controller, who is Rishikesh, who is master of all senses, is now being controlled by the senses of Arjun. That means the words of Arjun. Okay. So just see how Lord is controlled by prem, love. Now in Bhagavad Gita chapter 15 verse number 15, Krishna says, Sarvasya chaham hriday sanivishta. That is, he is situated as Paramatma in everyone's heart. Krishna knows what is your purpose, what you want to do, what is your past, future, everything Krishna knows. And also, another verse, Bhagavad Gita chapter 7 verse number 26. Krishna says, Vedaham samatitani vartamanani cha arjuna bhavishyani cha bhutani mam tu veda na kashchana. That means, Krishna says, O Arjun, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, I know everything that has happened in the past, all that is happening in the present, and all things that are yet to come. I also know all living entities, but me no one knows. So here, as soon as Arjun asked Krishna, Senayor Ubhayor Madhye, Ratham Sthapya Me Achyut, in Bhagavad Gita 1.21, immediately Krishna carried out the order, and he knew why Arjun wanted him to take the chariot in between the armies. Because Arjun wanted to see with whom I have to fight, my friends and relatives. Okay? So, as Rishikesh, as master of the senses, master of the mind, Krishna knows everything. As Rishikesh, Krishna knows that unless Arjun becomes affected family-wise, because in the further verses we'll see how Arjun becomes compassionate when Arjun looks at the relatives in the opposite army, his worshipable elders in the opposite army. He is then hesitant to fight, and then Krishna gives him the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. So although Arjun is Gudakesh, he is above darkness, but still by the will of Krishna, he is playing a part of an ordinary man who is affected by family affection. Therefore, now because Rishikesh knows what is going to happen next, so that is why he says in the next verse that we'll cover in the next video, that my dear Parth, now you wanted to see with whom you have to fight. Now here is Bhishma, Drona and many other kings, all the descendants of Kuru dynasty, your Dhritarashtra's sons. Now you see very nicely and be prepared to fight with them. Okay? Now one may ask this question, that Arjun is Gudakesh, then why he got ignorant and hesitated to fight with his relatives out of affection for them? So first we have to, understand the glorified position of Arjun and Krishna here. So Arjun is not an ordinary person. Arjun is associated with Krishna eternally in Sakhya Ras, in the Ras of friendship, in the relationship of friendship. He is eternally associated with Krishna. We say Nitya Parshad, eternal associate, Nitya Parshad. And Arjun descends with Krishna time to time in this material world to assist in Krishna's mission. In the Bhagavad Gita chapter 4 verse number 5, Krishna tells Arjun that Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Bahuni me vyatitani janmani tav cha Arjuna Tani aham ved sarvani na tvam vedha parantapa. Many births, both you and I have passed. I can remember all of them, but you cannot. O subduer of the enemy. So we have to understand the glorified position of Arjuna. Okay, and it was by the will of Krishna that Arjuna was put into ignorance, so that Krishna could speak Bhagavad Gita for the good of everyone. Similarly, Arjuna's grandson Maharaja Parikshit became a medium for the revelation of Srimad Bhagavatam by Srila Shukdev Goswami, by the will of Krishna. Okay? So how do we apply this? That we must understand the glories of Krishna and Arjuna, their eternal and sweet relationship, in order to understand the message of Bhagavad Gita. And how do we accomplish this? We can accomplish this by learning Bhagavad Gita under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master. After this Dua analysis, now we are going to share related story on this also. Okay? Now, first story, this is from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, chapter number 89. Krishna and Arjuna retrieve a Brahman's sons. Here, Sri Mahavishnu is relishing the sweetness of Krishna through the Gudakesh, that is Arjuna's transcendental sweet relationship with Krishna. Once in Dwarka, Brahman's wife gave birth to a son who immediately died. The Brahman took his dead son to the court of King Ugrasen and criticized the king. And the same misfortune actually continued. And each time he would bring his dead infant's body to the royal court and used to criticize the king. When the 9th son died at birth, Arjuna happened to hear the Brahman's complaint. And then he said, "My lord, I will protect your progeny, and if I fail, I will enter fire to atone my sin." So here, now Arjuna is promising the Brahman that he will save the 10th son of the Brahman. So sometime later, when the Brahman's wife was about to give birth for the 10th time, then Arjuna went to the maternity house and he covered that house with a protective cage of arrows. But Arjuna's efforts were of no use, because as soon as the child was born and began to cry, it disappeared into the sky. Now Arjuna set off for the abode of Yamraj to get the Brahman son back, but there also he could not find the infant. Then he actually searched the entire 14 planetary systems, but there was no trace of the infant. And because Arjuna failed to protect the son of this Brahman, now his intent was to commit suicide by entering into the sacred fire. As soon as he was about to do so, Krishna came and Krishna stopped him and said that, "I will show you the Brahman sons." So Krishna stopped Arjuna from entering into the fire. Then Krishna took Arjuna onto his transcendental chariot, and two of them, they crossed 7 islands, 7 oceans, and they passed over the Lokalok mountain range and entered a region of dense darkness. So Krishna's Sudarshan disc actually lighted their way, and then they came to the water of the causal ocean, Karna Sagar we say, and there they reached the city of Lord Mahavishnu. They saw the 1,000-hooded serpent Ananta there, and upon that Ananta, Lord Mahavishnu was residing. Lord Mahavishnu greeted Shri Krishna and Arjuna, saying that, "I brought the Brahmana's son here simply because I wanted to see the two of you." So then Lord Krishna and Arjuna then took Brahman's son, they went back to Dwarka and returned the infants to their father. Now here, Arjuna, he directly experienced the greatness of Krishna, and he concluded that only by Krishna's mercy can a living being exhibit any power or opulence. Okay, this is one of the story. Now another story. This is from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrit, Madhya Leela, chapter 9. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the illiterate Brahman, and the Bhagavad Gita. This incident actually happened when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visited Ranganath temple in South India. In that temple, actually, a Brahman Vaishnav used to visit daily, and he used to recite the entire text of Bhagavad Gita. Brahman regularly read the 18 chapters of Bhagavad Gita in great transcendental ecstasy. But he could not pronounce the words correctly. So people used to joke about him. They used to laugh at him, but he never cared because he was full of ecstasy. When he read Bhagavad Gita, he was personally very, very happy. And seeing this, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu became very happy and he asked Brahman, "My dear sir, why are you in such ecstatic love? Which portion of Bhagavad Gita gives you such transcendental pleasure?" So Brahman replied that I am illiterate, therefore I do not know the meaning of the words, but sometimes I read Bhagavad Gita correctly, sometimes incorrectly. But in any case, I am doing it in compliance with the orders of my spiritual master. Then Brahman continued that actually I only see Krishna sitting on chariot as Arjun's charioteer. Taking the reins in the hand, he appears very beautiful and blackish. So while seeing Lord Krishna sitting on chariot and instructing Arjun, I am filled with ecstatic happiness. And as long as I read Bhagavad Gita, I simply see the Lord's beautiful features. It is for this reason that I am reading the Bhagavad Gita and my mind cannot be distracted from this. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then told Brahman that indeed you are an authority. Indeed you are an authority in reading the Bhagavad Gita. Whatever you know constitutes the real purport of Bhagavad Gita. And after saying this, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu embraced the Brahman, and the Brahman, catching the lotus feet of the Lord, began to cry. The Brahman said, "Upon seeing you, my happiness is doubled. I take it that you are the Supreme Lord Krishna." The mind of the Brahman was purified, and therefore he could understand the truth of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in all details. So Srila Prabhupada says, by this incident, Srila Prabhupada says that this is called Guru Mukha Padma Vakya, Chittate Koriya Ekya, or Na Koriho Mane Asha. This is called firm faith in Guru. Guru ordered him, you read. Guru must know him that he is illiterate. So what he will read? Why Guru is ordering him? But because he had firm faith in Guru and he was trying to read, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to see him. So on fulfilling the order of his spiritual master, he came to the notice of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That is what leads to perfection. When we follow the order of Guru with sincerity, we attain perfection in our devotional life. Okay? This purport we have taken from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, chapter 9, verse number 98. Madhya Leela. This is from Madhya Leela. So here Srila Prabhupada says this is a good example of a person who had become so successful that he was able to capture the attention of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, even while reading Bhagavad Gita incorrectly. Basically, the spiritual activities of this Brahmin did not depend on material things such as pronunciation. So just reciting the Bhagavad Gita or understanding it in a scholarly way will not give us perfection. Perfection can only be attained when we follow the instructions of our spiritual master. There's one verse which Srila Prabhupada has quoted from Shvetashvatar Upanishad. Yasya deve para bhakte yatha deve tatha guru tasyaite kathita hi arthaha prakashante mahatmanaha. Only unto those great souls who have implicit faith in both the Lord and the spiritual master are all the imports of Vedic knowledge automatically revealed. Actually, the meaning of the words of the Bhagavad Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam are revealed to one strictly following the orders of spiritual master. They are also revealed to one who has equal faith in the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In other words, being faithful to both Krishna and spiritual master is the secret of success in spiritual life. With this, we complete verse number 24 from chapter 1. We dedicate this channel and all these videos to our Guru Maharaj, His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Thakur, Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you. Hare Krishna.